Hi, welcome to the Pursuit of Truth. It is the 12th of November 2018. I was listening to Jamie Brown on YouTube, and obviously he's one of the first people that I listened to consistently when I was looking into Flat Earth. I can't remember who originally it was. It might have been it was OBD channel. I think it was D Marble or D Murphy, or one of them, I don't remember, where it was somebody with a beard. I think it was a Scottish accent, whitish guy. So it can't be either of those two then. I can't remember who he was. He was giving a lecture, and I remember there was some things, but there was a few people that sort of were talking about things, and I think it was the realisation, I don't know who it was. It could have been on the Imaginary Curve, it could have been Jamie Brown, I don't know who, it doesn't matter. But when I came into the idea of like water bending around, I never even thought about that. I mean, I know I've mentioned that many times. So I was listening to Jamie Brown now, and he's doubting the flat Earth, as it were, per se. I mean, I know he said, I don't want to speak of him like that. I want to. I'm almost like this is really for him, because I wanted to type something, but I couldn't put into words what I wanted to type. I understand. It's difficult to say. I was going to say I understand what you're saying rather than what is being said. I'm used to addressing this in the third person, isn't it? So it's weird addressing it to a person. So I understand what you're saying in the sense that there's a lot of stuff out there, but I think that's done on purpose, like Beyond the Belief was talking about, that there is a lot of people, out there that are talking about lots of different things, and some of them, they do muddy the waters. This is what Dale from Beyond the Imaginary Curve was talking about as well, and I don't know whether he was actually talking about this. I did wonder what he was talking about, but now I think I know what. Yeah, so sometimes if you watched every single video on YouTube about Flat Earth and Globe Earth, I mean, you would be lost completely. The way I see it is, I personally, and I understand what Jamie you're saying, I personally am standing on this land, and with my own eyes, I cannot see whether what shape of this land, this planet, this realm, this whatever you want to call it, what it is. I can't see it, but there are things I can look at that can give me ideas, and I know it's possible with sophistry and men in general, scientists, to bend things, being the operative word, to suit their argument. And that's always a problem. But, like with water, we know how water, that's the fundamental thing, how water acts. You know how water acts yourself. You've never seen bendy water. So that's problematic. How do you get around that one? And that's the real, gravity. I don't know whether gravity exists or not, and I don't know whether you need to say that it doesn't exist or not. I know that people like to say gravity doesn't exist because it helps the flat Earth model per se, as it were, because globe definitely needs gravity, but gravity, I think it does exist to a certain extent, but that shouldn't even come into it. It doesn't matter, it's like, to do with the luminaries and all that kind of stuff, that it can be used either way. You don't have to just disprove it just because the globe needs it. These things could exist on a flat Earth as well. So, but I see it as, I know I was into like paranormal, ghosts, aliens, UFOs, that kind of thing. I was into science fiction, and then I was on YouTube. I'd already been like, I was interested in conspiracies, so I'd obviously watch things like about JFK and stuff like that. But 9/11, I never really got my head around that until I was on YouTube, and then I started to see those videos, and my mind was opened, and I started to question those things. But I didn't question, enough, as it were. It was only when I got to Flat Earth that it opened my mind, and I think it's part of the process, because that's what's made me actually really awake, as it were. I know it's a poor choice of words, but that's what's made me see everything else. And some of the things, like I've said previously, I did see those things before. Like I've seen, inequality and injustices. You can read my poems. Lots of these things that I've already mentioned, but now they mean a lot more now that I know about Flat Earth. Now, like I've previously, technically, although if it is true, obviously it does actually make a difference, but technically, in the grand scheme of things, well, it doesn't really matter whether it's flat or globe. Well, your belief. I mean, in reality-wise, it does matter, because whatever it is, it is. But if you can't tell what it is, it doesn't really matter which you're going to believe. Because if, this was the example I was going to type, and I know I've mentioned this previously, if, tomorrow NASA, the governments of the world, Donald Trump stood up and said, yes, it's true, the world is flat, NASA's been lying, we're shutting them down straight away, we're going to get all this out, we're going to start mapping the model of the real flat Earth, and here it is. They would gatekeeper it, they would control it, and this is why people believe that certain people on YouTube are part of that process to, if that does need to happen, that it can be ushered in. We'll have people that we can believe, and those people will sway us, keeping us into the system. A bit like, where you have sheep that are being led into a pen by sheepdog. That's us. That's how it's been done in the past, and that's how it'll be done in the future. So, let's say, eventually they did give it up, and then they said, yes, it is flat Earth. If nothing changed except that belief, and I know a lot of people, they talk about on the YouTube channels mostly about flat Earth, and they don't like to have other things talked about. That is not going to make the difference that we all need. The reason we're in this situation is because humans have been allowed to lie, and there's, like I say, flat Earth is just it's part of the process. It's a step. There's many other steps to be taken after that, which I've taken. I know, flat Earth wasn't the end. There's a lot more. I know Pete Shea talks about this as well. So that's part of it. It's part of opening your mind. But like I'm saying, if they did say, yeah, flat Earth, and everyone started believing in flat Earth, and then in school they started teaching flat Earth, and you're still getting the vaccines, you're still working your job, there's still a monarchy, there's still countries, there's still racism, there's still poor people sitting on the streets. What does that matter then? It hasn't changed anything. It's just where you live now you know the truth. It has to be more than that. It has to be more than that. Anyone who's a true flat earther can't be just resigned to that's all they want. Obviously we want that to happen, but that has to be a chain of events that starts other things from happening. I know a lot of people will want that to happen because they think that then the dominoes will fall down, the house of cards will fall down. But if it's gatekeepered, it won't. And if there are famous people who are on YouTube and are flat earthers, and they're always been waiting for this moment, and they're just going to gatekeep you into, no, it's true, we found out, but still vote for Donald Trump, or still don't riot, which I don't think would happen anyway. People will be shocked, but it's not like the first time we've realised that we've been lied to about things. Look at the Iraq and Afghanistan war. We went into an illegal war. Most people probably don't even still know it was an illegal war. There was no weapons of mass destruction. Lots of people were killed. Countries were destroyed. But there's no big riots, is there? Everyone's still carrying on going on to work, and so that's what we can't make flat Earth just about like that. So technically, if you don't want to believe in, if you can't tell because you have doubts, Obviously, how can you? You only have two pairs of eyes. Yes, you can rely upon objective things, and yeah, that really should be the thing that sort of tells you, that the issues of perspective, and that you've never seen bendy water and water doesn't bend. That should be indicators that this world is probably not round. But unless you can fly up like Superman and see the actual Earth, so-called Earth, then you're never going to be satisfied, and you'll never know 100% know, as it were. Because the others, like looking at objective reality around you, it's a supposition, isn't it? And that's why scientists use that. Some will say this, some will create gravity to make that bend, and etc. But you only really know if you were able to fly above it and look down. So I think it's fine to have doubts. I just think I still talk about flat Earth, but I know there's more to it than that. We need to never be lied to again. We need to stop all these other things, because we know there's lots of other things that other people talk about to do with, like, are vaccines safe or not? Should we be in a world where we put money above people's lives? The fact that we live on a planet that's not ours, in the sense that we don't own it, so who are we to say this is America, this is England, and we're all one species, we all know that. So all of that has to be sorted out. But yeah, I think flat Earth will probably be the thing that catalysts that, but it can't be the end of it. But yeah, I understand what you're saying. There are, I see things on YouTube that make you think, and then you see this and you see that, and you want to see, well, what's the argument to that? I mean, some of it, like Beyond the Belief, was saying that you need to do your research. Well, some people, some people know how to do things. Some people know a lot about maths and about science and stuff. I mean, I know some things you can learn. But I guess as a species, we've been taught to be a bit lazy, isn't it? That's the problem. That's our programming. But yeah, I don't know what else to say. I think I've said everything I wanted to say. It's just, it's good to be honest, though, that, I mean, people shouldn't attack Jamie for being honest, whether, even if he does turn fully back to the globe and denies us all, which I don't think is going to happen. But what I mean is that we shouldn't be, we shouldn't live in a world where we attack each other, irrespective of our views, because then we're no better than the people that that attack us. It's important to have doubt, because it's doubt that got us to open our eyes in the first place. It's when you think that you know everything, and when someone else comes and questions that, and then you don't want to hear it, that's the problem. We need to always have an open mind. And yeah, there's going to be times, people go through a journey, you're going to have ups and downs. I have them as well, I know that, I know I'm insignificant when it comes to this whole arena, because, like 3 people listen to me on Spotify or whatever, or on YouTube. But yeah, we do have ups and downs, and it is because we've been lied to all our lives. And it's not just about flat Earth. There's lots of things. I've detailed loads of different things, that happened to me personally, and that have happened, that I've seen, where there's lots of lies, lots of sophistry, lots of things done just for certain reasons. All those things. So that's obviously why, when it comes to thinking of something yourself, why it's difficult to get around it. But you've got to see that the world we live in is full of lies. And we've got to sort that out. And hopefully in the end, everything will get sorted out. Who we are, where we are, why we are, what we are, all those important questions that we have stories for it currently. Anyway, it's enough for me. Take care, take it easy. God bless and peace.